Before I start, this is going to be a bit of a long video, and it's 100% talking head. So I am going to put some markers and chapters down. This is an update video that I hope will clarify what the future of the channel is and why and how come, and also some transparency about how I'd like to earn money. And yeah, let's start. Hi crew, it's going to be a bit of a different video today. I want to give you some updates about the channel, about where we're going and things like that. So if you don't want to watch something that is going to be entirely talking head about the channel, I would advise you to just skip the video altogether. However, there is, I think, a lot of important information in it. I'm back from a scary 2 weeks where I spent most of it in high care in a hospital. I'm not going to hop on about this, but understand that that alone has brought me back an entire month to 6 weeks. I had a plan, and that plan just went to the dustbin. I can pick up that plan now, and I intend to. However, I don't think that we'll have a long-form video in at least another 2 weeks. I am working on a few things you probably saw in the comments, and I'm actually going to put it up on screen right now, right now, and I'm going to put it up on this side, yes. And that is my new heads up setup, which I will also, whilst I will be talking, which I will be talking about a bit later. I'm going to start with what I recently said to Joel Levy, and I'm hoping I get this right. I'm flabbergasted. I find it hard to believe what's happened over the past 4 months. I'll be honest with you. When I started this channel, it was for the South African community, and because they actually pressured me into it. Not that I mind. No, I live on disability, so I've got quite a substantial amount of free time. Not anymore since I've started this, by the way. But the encouragement, the continued support, the growth of the channel, I did not expect. I expected to be where we are today sometime at the end of the year. And you caught me by surprise, all of you. I mean, when I put up the ESP Home Basic setup videos, I hit 100 views on the first day. Never mind the number of likes. At today's date, it's got 3,900 views and 170 likes. And there is an odd dislike. Maybe it's my accent. I was like, but hold on a second. This is very niche. How? And then I thought that the YouTube algorithm had completely lost it. Something had gone wrong. And that it was just a fluke. Luck. When I did the second one, let's build the room sensor part 1, temperature, humidity, and Bluetooth, I thought, well, some guys are going to look at it, and that's about it, really. 2,600 views and 120 likes later, and 2 dislikes. I don't know where those come from either. I was totally baffled, completely. And the flood of comments was so positive, so encouraging, so constructive, which is something I'm not used to. I live in a country where constructiveness doesn't really, or positive criticism is not something that's common. So I started to do polls, and you've seen them, and please take part in them. They're very important for me, and to be able to give you what you want, and or rather to give you the format you want things in, and the details you want. So I took a deep dive into the analytics. And the analytics came up with some stuff, and again, I think it's going to be on that side. The South African audience that I expected was just not there. And instead of having a South African audience, I had a 16% American, North American audience, and the United States in particular. Then came Germany, United Kingdom, South Africa, Belgium, and Canada. And I was like, why? And I think it's by talking to some of you that I figured it out. Look, I had searched for this kind of tutorial before, and there are some, but I think they're lacking. And they're lacking because they'll just tell you, go to the ESP page and sort yourself out. This is the very basics. And here I came doing something that I would have wanted when I started, trying to explain everything. Why? How come? Why would we want to use those sensors as well? I mean, why would you want to use, and this is coming up into videos, why would you want to use a PIR sensor and a millimeter wave sensor on the same sensor? No spoilers, but there are reasons. There are reasons those two sensors could be used on the same sensor package. So the room sensor is going to gain that, by the way. It's in the next 3 or 4 videos that you're going to see that. I may have to shuffle some of my videos. So although I was kind of pressured into this, and although I was kind of moved into this direction, if I can say so, or directed here to do a YouTube channel, and then you guys came along and made it fun and made it well worth it, I'm like, okay, this is fun. It's hard work. Don't mistaken me, but it is fun. And then some of you, and I will mention some of you later in the video, have come to the party. And I'm not just talking about financial support, and I will talk about that also later in the video, but also you made it fun in other ways. I mean, Deliberate Geek is, wow, we talk all the time. I don't even know what he looks like. He's full of ideas. He's full of oomph. He's full of this and that. And then there is, let me see. Sorry, I do have notes, but it was Wu. I'll highlight him. I think I just finished a thing with him. I just replied to one of his comments. Let's see if I can find it quickly. Contain comments that I've responded to. Yes, so Miguel. So Miguel and his interaction with him, it's all on currently on YouTube, but he challenges me. And I find that great, and I will talk about others that have really brought up some very important points. And all of a sudden, I've got this community around me that is talking to me, that is asking me certain things. And I can only thank you for that. Really, I can't do anything else. Oh, and by the way, I apologize for my voice. I was intubated. And I haven't, and I can drink as much tea and coffee as I want to, and it doesn't seem to help. Okay, so I'm going to talk a bit about the videos. I'm going to start following a bit my script here because I went off script completely. What I'm trying to do in the moment is trying to understand you as an individual, and what your needs are. I modeled my entire channel around what I thought I would want when I started. But you've shown me that there are other things maybe that I need to introduce. You haven't told me yet things that I should remove, which I'm very surprised by. But I've removed some stuff. So just some updates regarding the channel. I'm making it as easy to understand and as reachable as possible as I'm developing this room sensor with you. And understand that I'm also learning. I'm also learning a whole lot of stuff, how to record, how to edit, how to put pointers, and I'll talk about that a little later, and how to do a whole lot of stuff. I'm also learning about these, believe it or not. I know quite a bit of electronics, or at least in theory, but in practical, not so much. So I have a lot of experience in other areas, which allow me to learn this very quickly. So there is a research component each time I do a video. But here are some figures for you. Okay, and I'm going to read them. I'm sorry, my screen is over here. So I've got 9 further planned episodes just for the room sensor. One of them is written, 6 are in the scripting process. And you might ask me, but why 6 in the scripting process? Because I say often, I will address that in a future video, and I want to remember to do it. So what happens is that I have a whole lot of videos in the scripting process right now. One is completely written. One is about 80% written. The following one after that must be in the 60s, and the rest is just a lot of notes. I've got another 12 planned, also on ASPO. And I'm gonna, if you've seen the comments, you would know what I'm talking about. I'm gonna start a series called The Weekenders. Now, what The Weekenders are, it's an end-to-end project. So from having absolutely nothing more than a, and unfortunately I don't have one on the table, but I do have this, and I hope it's gonna focus fine. Take an ESP32 or an ESP8266 or even one of these, the Raspberry Pi Pico, and do something with it for the weekend. So I'm going to be, and spoiler alert, one of them is probably going to be a live stream, and we will build it together, and it's probably going to be a garage door opener with open-close sensors. I've got one already built, and I've got one that I'm busy building for my second garage door. So I'm going to take that one, and I'm going to record that one. It may be a live stream, it may not be, but it's going to be one that's going to be part of the weekender. And it looks like you're interested in having some live streams. And please comment below, tell me if you are interested in live stream, where you can shout at me and say, Pascal, you've actually connected the wrong GPIO. I'd love that. So yes, so the next series that I want to start is a Docker tutorial series where we install a Docker from scratch. And when I say from scratch, we're going to use Debian as its basis, and the Debian part is going to be literally a bare bones server, and we are going to build from there. The nice thing is that you can use multiple different hardware to achieve the same thing. I will be using a virtual environment. However, you can use a Raspberry Pi 4 or 5, a NAC, or any of those one board computers. Okay, planned is 18 Docker tutorials, 2 are written, all focused on a home lab for Home Assistant use. So it's not going to be just, that's a nice container. It's, we want that container for that purpose and blah, blah, blah. Now, some of those tutorials, for reasons that I will not discuss today, will be locked behind a paywall on Patreon. It has nothing to do with the fact that I don't want to share. It has to do with the implication of those containers. But I will definitely do, including Home Assistant integration and how you can use it inside of Home Assistant. So if there is no Home Assistant, or if there is no automation or no value for automation for a container, I will not even discuss it. But I will discuss how to set up a container, how to use, briefly, how to use it, okay, to achieve certain things, and how to integrate it into Home Assistant. So it's not just, as I say, Docker for the sake of Docker. It's Docker for Home Assistant and the Maker. Then I've got a further 10 Home Assistant videos planned. Those are the operating system version of Home Assistant. And those are going to be coming up as well. Now, if you kept track, you would have a count of 49 planned videos that comes for both from my planning, what I thought would be good, and your suggestions. I'm adding all the time to this through your suggestion or a certain sudden spark in my mind. So we are nearly at a year worth of weekly content, and that's a lot. And that's a lot. That would put us sometimes next year in March. I'm not saying that I will do only one video a week, but understand me. I do suffer from CRPS, and if you want more information, sound off below, and I will do a Patreon free video for you on that. And my problems today I'm very good. Today both of my arms are working, and you can see I'm a little bruised. I don't know how well it's going to come out on camera, but I am a little bruised here and there from the IVs and things. Today, my right arm and my right hand is working. And again, I'm not going to hop on about that. You can go and have a look at what CRPS is. I can tell you it's not fun. In fact, I'm going to possibly not record when I have any kind of a flare. So if I've got function in both of my hands, I can do far more and show you far more. If I don't, unfortunately, I don't. So anything that's going to be hand related, I am going to do an overhead. I'm going to try to pressurize myself to go ahead with those and so on. So that when I do have both of my hands working, and particularly my right hand, I can build stuff and show you how to build stuff. So another thing that I wanted to talk about is all of my videos are scripted. And that's to ensure that A, I don't miss anything, and I have, even scripted, and B, that the quality is there, the quality of information is there. That takes time as well. And that only scratches the surface of what I do for the channel at this point in time. I never thought I'd be here, so I'm learning. And I am so much enjoying all of this. And again, you're going to hear me say thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about the improvement of the videos, because that's my next section on my screen here. I am learning this, as I say, I am learning this YouTube thing, and I'm also trying to improve the videos. And you may have seen from video to video some improvements. Some of those improvements are not always obvious, because some of them are done in the back. Some of them are VFX related, going back to the arrow. Anyway, my thing is, if it doesn't add value to the video and to the information of the video, and I try something and I don't see its value at all, I'll throw it out. The rest I keep. So, as I say, I'm hoping that you can see the improvements from video to video. Improving the videos does not stop at all at the recording or editing. I've asked what kind of peripheral or additional information you wanted, and my overwhelming perception is that you want to know the why and the how and the implementation at the cost of longer videos. And I'm fine with that. Yes, for every hour of video, you can honestly say I've put in between 8 and 12 hours of work, but and maybe even more. You got to realize that I actually dry run everything. So that's why when things go wrong in the middle of a video and I do leave it in, I'm a bit surprised, because I dry run this. So yeah. Okay, so the future video format is going to be as follow. Why do we want to build what we're building? Okay, what's the use of it? What can we achieve with it. How it works. So this is more of the inner working. For example, the TVOC heat plate the TVOC heat plate will heat up things, and it will be able to detect certain type of molecules through the heating part of it. I'm taking an example. There are many of them. How to implement it? So we're talking about ESPOM implementation. We're talking about the gotchas of implementations and that type of stuff. And obviously the code. How to display it. How do we use this visibly inside of Home Assistant? How do we automate it? And obviously, coming back to why are we building it in the first place? So some of our sensors are strictly there for data purposes. Some of our sensors, and I'm going to just pick up one, and I'm hoping that you will be able to see it. Here it is. This is the SHT40. This is a humidity and temperature sensor. Why would we want to use that? Well, maybe the humidity is too high in the room and we want to trigger a fan. Maybe the temperature is too low in the room and we want to trigger a heater, or too high and we want to trigger an air conditioner. So those are the kind of videos that I want to do and continue doing, is the kind of videos that are going to be useful for you. At the end of the day, I am splitting the videos in such a way that you can start picking and choosing. I want this sensor, this is how I do the implementation. I want this sensor, this is how I'm doing the implementation for that. And it's pick and choose what you want, and you can make your own sensor package from that. By the way, if you have any suggestions or requests, please put it in the comments. I'd really appreciate it. Okay, which is a good segue for my sponsor. Oh, no, sorry, this is not Linux Tech Tips. So, no sponsor. Okay, but it's still a good segue. And I want to speak about the value of community feedback, the requests and suggestions, but I'll be with you in a moment. I'm going to take a short break.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
And I'm back. So let's talk about that community feedback and the suggestion, everything that you are giving to me. The community feedback is going to be pivotal for this channel. In fact, it's the centerpiece. Although, yes, there are a few things that I want to do with the channel, obviously. You are going to be guiding me on the content itself. And I want it to stay that way. You remain the driving force behind the channel. You need to promise me as well that if I deviate from that in any ways whatsoever, just don't leave. Tell me. Tell me I don't like where you're going. You give me the direction. I'm going. You my compass. Really, you are my compass. For a recent example, there were issues with the overhead, and that was brought up initially by Emmanuel Maria Suzai. I'm hoping I didn't butcher your name too much. But he said to me, there are some, it doesn't work. Your hands are in the way, it's out of focus. And I didn't take it like, dude, don't you think I'm working hard enough already? And I'm not interested in you. No. I started working on on what I'm going to show you on the screen right now, whether it be on the right or on the left, a solution for this. And in fact, I'm going to show you some clips of the results, and you can tell me then whether those clips are good or not. So here is the setup from outside, and then you can see the resulting setup from what you will see. Sorry. And I must say that Deliberate Geek has been very, very, very nice and has allowed me to bounce it on him. And I did the test and I sent it to him, and he gave me his nod of approval. And I will talk about more community involvement in a minute. But I want to assure you that this is a long line of improvement that have been suggested by the community. You're telling me really what you want, and I'm responding to that. And I think that's how we should do things like that. Even though, as I've said, I never intended to get into this. It's too much fun to leave, though. So when it comes to requests and suggestions, right now I've got the comments below. That's all I've got. There are things that I am working on, which I will be touching on a little later, but this video is already getting long. So when it comes to positive criticism, feedback, requests, suggestions, please keep them coming. Not only will it ensure the future of the channel, but it also makes me think and drives me. You want to know, you're hungry for knowledge. And oddly enough, I'm hungry to give it to you. I like doing this. Now, I'd like to address another specific request because it came up before, and I'm guessing a lot of you are wondering and would love to see something. So I'm going to talk quickly about Lars Van Zon and Phil Mully. And they asked for, in short, paraphrasing here, a neater solution for the room sensor. And it is in the works. It is planned, at least. I shouldn't say it's in the works, it is planned. And the short answer is it's always been planned. But I want to do something that's not only cleaner, but also aesthetically pleasing. And I need to learn 2 software packages and get some experience behind me before we even talk about doing something like that. The first one is a PCB CAD package, and I've opted for KiCad, which is free, which means I will be able to give you the KiCad files and you will be able to modify them. The other one is a 3D printable housing. Again, I have a course and I originally opted for Fusion 360, but they've changed the license model, and I need to just jump in deep and see if I'm going to keep going that way or opt for one of the other CADs similar to 360. I don't want you to have to pay for anything. So the room sensor housing and PCB are in the planning. And the first thing is, for the design of the room sensor housing and PCB, there are a lot of considerations. For example, we need to avoid temperature interference from the MCU and whichever sensor you decide to use. I'll show you how to use a few others, by the way. And again, Lars, thank you very much. You brought that up. And at the time, I didn't even think about it. Admittedly, I wasn't there yet. Would I have? I don't know. Another thing is I want it compact. And also, I don't know where the series is going to end. I've added in the past 3 weeks 2 episodes. Well, 2 subject matters, which may extend to more episodes, depending on how long each episode is. I'm trying to keep the episodes around 45 minutes max. This, I'm sure, I'll be doing at least 3 versions of the generic room sensor PCB and housing. And these are going to be the minimalistic one with the option to put a couple of sensors. I'm thinking mostly it's going to be temperature, humidity, light, possibly room air quality, and maybe a PIR, but I don't see it going much beyond that. The next one, I'm thinking to have one with a touchscreen that has a bit more sensor availability, because the touchscreen alone is rather large. So we've got lots of space behind the panel, and we'll have to have space on top of or on the side of the panels as well, of the video panels, that is, obviously. So I'm also thinking maybe to have 2 versions of that one. One of them is mountable on a wall, and the other one that integrates directly in light switch housing. Now, I know that the light switch housing are different in the United States, in Europe, in South Africa, in Hong Kong, but it's going to be a plate in front, and the plate will be, you'll be able to 3D print a plate and that's for your country. I will do the European one because South Africa runs on the European system, and you will have all of the sizes. I'll supply all of that to you. The last one is one with IR remote capabilities so that you can control a television, an air conditioning, or anything of that kind. Now, those two last ones, so the one with the touchscreen and the one with the IR remote, I am seriously thinking of ditching external power supplies. And that's pretty much up to you to tell me whether you'd be interested into that. But the short of it is, I'm looking at actually introducing this, or I don't know which side it's going to be on again. Um, and this is a 5-volt 2 amp or 10 watt power supply. It's very compact. It's by Highlink. I've got a couple of them. And the nice thing is that you can put the 220 or the 110, because it does take both 220 and 110 straight into it. You tighten it with a screw connector, and voila, you set. And it's going to be obviously fully wireless compatible and so forth. So I'm looking at going that way. Whether or not this is going to happen is not confirmed yet, but I do want to try. Anyway, if you're interested, sound off in the comments below. So regarding this, if any of you have a skill set into building 3D objects or PCBs, don't hesitate to contact me if you're willing to help out with this. You'll get full credits. The files will be available for free on the Discord server, which I'm going to talk about a little later. And what I'll do is I'll do a full assembly of those sensors and showing you what assembles where and how to do it. And that will wrap off the room sensor series. Okay. Also, I've been asked, and I can't remember who asked me. I can't find his name in my notes. Oh, yes. No, obviously. Sorry. And I'm not going to edit much of this. I've been part of the neatness is what about now? Well, I'm going to show you how to use Vero boards as soon as possible. And it's basically a soldering board. I'll put a picture. And for prototyping, it's also nice because you can actually put the wires where they're supposed to go. And when you do your PCB, it actually helps you. Yes, but I have to be careful because I'm crossing that wire. I'm crossing that wire. There's value there as well. And so, yeah, Vero boards and you know, with a wire kit, and let's achieve something a bit more permanent. And as I say, it's a good way towards a PCB. Deliberate Geek uses something else, which is called Electro Cookie. And I am going to try to get a Deliberated Geek on video, and we're going to have a discussion maybe about this. He doesn't seem to be opposed to it. He has seen the script. So if he's opposed to it, he should have told me earlier. But yeah, Electro Cookie, and I'm going to order some from Amazon. They'll take a long time to get here. But in the meantime, we could possibly talk to Deliberate Geek about it. And this is, I think, another segue that we can take to the future of the channel. First thing I want to address with the future of the channel is the things I don't want to see on this channel. And I think you don't want to either. I get irritated when I see a community channel, because this is a community channel, that goes commercial. I do not have any aspiration of being Mr. Big or whatever his name is, or Linus Tech Tip or anything like that. I'm doing this in my little corner. Maybe in time I may decide to go and out and find myself an editor, but it would have to be somebody that I can trust and that has proven himself to me. Writing will stay with me. The doing will stay with me. So I did not start this channel to make money. Having said that, if certain company would come and say, why can't we sponsor you to do a tutorial on X, Y, Z? And I'm going to take companies that probably would never approach me, but I'm talking Expressive, obviously the makers of the ESP32, or Nabukasa, the maintainers and the creators. I don't think they're the creators, but they are the maintenance company that maintains both ESP Home and Home Assistant. Contact me and said, listen, let's do a series on XYZ, and I feel it adds value. I'd agree. I'd agree because it would bring value to you, it will bring value to me, and I think that's very important. Having said that, I want to take on a beef burger from Kentucky, which has no value to you, really. First of all, I don't live in Kentucky. I live in Johannesburg, South Africa. So I wouldn't even know if the product is good. Second, reviews. Now, when I say reviews, understand dedicated the reviews for a commercial product. The PF2, for example, from Akara. I'm not going to do reviews about these things. I'm a DIY enthusiast, and this is a DIY channel. I have no interest in doing reviews of stuff that other people do. Having said that, though, I may end up in a situation where I would have to explain why I'm using a non-DIY product. And trust me, I've got non-DIY products, and I'm actually going to tell you right now, those are mostly Akara, Shellys, and Sonoffs. Now, why would I want to use those? Well, simple, 220 volt, it kills. That's all I've got to say. 220 volt kills. And Akara, Shelly, and Sonoff are certified for South African use. And additionally to that, my insurance covers them. So if there is a problem, I don't have to worry about. Now, you're going to say, did you put ESPM on any of these? The Shellys, I know I can. I'm not interested. The Shelly system is, as is very good and very easy to use. So why should I change it? Off the shelf, it's local. Akara, well, Akara, you can't really do that. But I use practically entirely. Sorry, I have a memory hole. Let me. Oh, and I'm not able to connect. Okay, it's fine. ZigBee, that's what I was looking for. So it's practically all ZigBee modules, and it goes through ZigBee to MQTT, which means it stays local. Again, local. And this is also something in the DIY space that we can actually try to ensure, is that we stay local. Okay. I want to do a video about DIY versus commercial. And it's probably going to happen with Deliberate Geek, and it probably is going to happen on Discord. So this is not going to be a YouTube thing. It will be available to everyone, however. Yes, I do. I am working on Discord, and they are private channels. But this specific one will be available to everyone. I think it would be a good thing, and I might include other people as well. We'll see how things turn out. Okay, so I want to grow our community. I really do. And I think that you can hear that. I think we are a diverse and vibrant community. And I want to be part of that. And it feels like you want to be part of that. So So that's important to me. The next thing is I want to improve my content. And the only way I'm going to improve my content is with you telling me about it. And I think you've been very clear on certain things. You do want more ESP home stuff, and you will get more. Unfortunately, that has come to present me with a bit of a problem. Home automation was a hobby. I would buy one of these every month. This is a millimeter wave sensor. And I would buy one of these every month because I could afford it. And here I want to make sure that you understand, and let me be 100% clear. I'm not asking you to contribute financially if you don't want to or if you can't. I want to keep almost everything free on this channel. I say almost everything. I also will not accept money unless you want to give it to me. I don't want to be a grudge purchase. There are other ways you can help, though, for me to generate money. You got to understand to start with that I live on my disability checks. And that's all I get. So that's important that you understand this. Now I need sensors, I need MCUs, I need the wiring and so forth about 6 to 8 weeks before I do a video, so that I can test, dry run, prepare the script and so forth. And that has come with a bit of a financial strain. So how can you help me? Well, there is more than one way to do that. First, subscribing, liking, commenting, and watching the video in full. Those are important things. And I don't know how many YouTubers says this, but watching the video in full makes a huge difference with the algorithm. At today's date, to get to start monetizing, and I'll talk about that in a second, but that before you can even start monetizing or thinking of start monetizing, you have to have 3,000 hours. Okay. Okay. So first, how can you give me money? Not that I'm asking, I'm saying if you want to, you can. Patreon is the way to go. And I have, sorry, I should say Patreon and Buy Me Coffee. I have tried coffee. I don't know. I don't feel them. Sorry. Maybe they're good, but I don't feel them. Also, bringing the money back to South Africa is a mission. So my Patreons will have some perks. They're not going to be extraordinary, but you can go onto the Patreon page and have a look there. Whereas Buy Me Coffee is really for one-off donations. Things also, I think it's important that I explain to you what I want to do with the money. Well, first of all, buy more sensors, buy more MCUs, buy more screens, buy more things that I can show you how to use and that are valuable for us. So that's the primary. The secondary is I want a teleprompter as soon as possible. And I have opted for the Elgato teleprompter for many reasons. Elgato makes very good products. They're a bit expensive, but I use Elgato. You'll see right here, my microphone is on an Elgato arm, and it is an Elgato USB microphone. And I'm very happy with the sound. Please tell me if you're happy with the sound and the audio. Yes, it is going through a few filters. It is what you're hearing is what's being recorded. So I don't fiddle in post at all. I may, in this case, bring the volume a little bit up simply because my voice is completely broken. So this the teleprompter is for me, instead of having to look there or look there for my notes, I can look straight into my notes and look at you. And I think the fact that I do move around is very disruptive and distracting. When I edit my videos, it actually, yeah, I don't feel it. I'm also going to need a couple of other things, particularly for my my heads up setup. I'm going to need a couple of lights, which I will be working on. I want LED lights, but I don't want very expensive one. I don't think it's necessary. I don't need Elgato panels. I've got 2 of them, and that's enough. But I want to try to eliminate all possible shadows so that you can see things better. So that's something I was thinking of. I'll post one that I had a look at, which is a newer, um, and I'm going to put it somewhere here. Anyway, I also want to buy the studio version of DaVinci Resolve to use the AI goodness that comes with it. I think it will simplify my editing on the one side, but also it will make something a bit more interesting on another. I've also registered as an Amazon associate, and I'm sorting that out. So the future Amazon links are going to be affiliate links. Won't cost anything more to you, obviously, but I'll get a little in return. I may do that with a few others, but again, I don't want to go commercial. I don't want to. It's the money is really there, is welcome, number one, but is really there for me to carry on doing all of this. And yeah. Okay, now Discord. The good news that I've been hinting at quite a bit throughout this video is that we are going to have a Discord server, and we'll announce when it's ready for prime time. Right now, I have an old problem that I am working, or I will be working on with Deliberate Geek. It will be available to all with additional private communities for the tiers in Patreon. So yeah, that's basically the story. I will also be posting there regularly. You'll also be able to interact with me when I'm around there. So I will not take any direct link. In fact, I mean any direct messages. In fact, those will be trashed immediately. I just can't. However, when I'm in the room, I'll be yours, and I'll make sure that I'm in the rooms regularly. And that we can have discussions and hope that the community is also going to discuss things on their own. Maybe, not maybe, I hope that I will learn from you too. I think it's important that we exchange quite a bit. With all of that said, I want to thank Deliberate Geek. I mean, support with the server and other things. Yeah, I'll say in the beginning of the video, flabbergasted. But I do not want to abuse his kindness. So if any of you think that they can bring something to the table for this to work, not just for me, but for everyone, contact me. Leave me a message a message with your email address or anything inside of the comments. Those should be blocked. So they would come to me as review messages. So those I will never publish. I will actually destroy them. Once I've got what I need out of them, I will destroy them. That's one way of doing it. And when we've got the Discord server up, obviously you'll be able to talk to me directly, or to request to talk to me directly. So if you can bring something to the party, as I say, I'm very new to all of this, and I didn't expect any of it. I'm learning, really I am. What about the YouTube memberships? and the content, create a program for some funding. Yes, 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 yes. And you're totally right. This is where I'm going to, but I don't want to force it. I want it to come naturally. Having said that, we've hit milestone 1, 500 subscribers. Next is 3,000 hours of watched video over the 365 days, past 365 days. There, I'm seriously lagging, and I'm sitting under 1,000 hours. In part because most of my videos are short. Now we're changing this and we're doing something different, so that may help. But if you really want to help me, watch all of my videos, even if it's in the background or something. It's going to rack up the hours, and that's going to help a lot. I'm going to hit 1,000 subscribers way before I can even think about doing anything else. So the milestone would enable me to enable memberships, super chats, super tickers, and super thanks, as well as shopping. Now, shopping is not even on my radar. To be honest with you, at all. I may change this, but if I do, I will discuss this on the Discord server first with all of you, and particularly my Patreon supporters. And it will probably only be digital goods unless you really want something else. But right now, I'm not even going to think about it. And I don't know whether it's going to be on Patreon or on Buy Me Coffee or whatever. It's just an additional pile of stuff to do, and really, I've only got 4 good hours a day. Okay, the milestone after that is 1,000 subscribers, and we are at 605 at the time of writing, not recording. Writing. Let me see if I can see where we are right now. 613. So, I mean, there's been 24 hours in between. So it gives you an idea. However, I do need 4,000 hours of watch time. So, yeah, and that will allow me to earn from ads, and that's a big one. Understand, I didn't get into this for the money. It would be a nice byproduct if it goes beyond what I need to do this, to do better videos, to buy little goodies that we can play with, and so forth. This is what I want to do with that money. If there is over and above, all I will be able to do is to thank you from the bottom of my heart. It's not why I do this. I do this because I'm enjoying it, and I'm hoping I'm going to carry on enjoying it. But I do have to ask for your help there. Okay, so let's close this off. Okay, I want to keep in brief. I want to keep a maximum available for everyone to use. No limitations. So if you want to use some of the code commercially or some of my ideas commercially, go ahead. I'm not going to stop you. Okay, so I'm not putting a copyright stamp on anything. In any case, think about it. ESP is open source, just as a matter of interest. But I hope that you understand that I have to balance my budget as well. I mean, this is important. And I do have medical bills to pay, not that you need to help with that. But yes, yeah, you get what I'm trying to say. Right now, though, I'm going to keep it about sensors and soon Docker. The why we want to edit, and so we can pick and choose to make our own rooms, but also our own homes ours through automations and through sensors and through other things. I mean, I have crazy ideas, and I don't know if they'll ever come to fruition, but how about we build a door lock with a finger sensor? I mean, DIY, not off the shelf, not from Yale or from whoever else. No, no, no. one that we've built ourselves. Is it feasible to do? Can we do it? Can we do a deadbolt system? These are things that are sitting somewhere in my wish list of videos to do. As for the rest, it's all about time. And in the next couple of weeks, I ate very little of it. My surgery went well, but it set me back, as I said earlier, in between a month and 6 weeks. Again, I want to thank you all. And a few names that I should say that I may have missed. Yeah, well, I obviously don't have them there, but that will come out in my next video. I can assure you that. And yeah, you guys are great. You guys are fantastic. You guys are beyond what I could have expected. So yeah, again, you want to help, hit the like button. You want to help, hit the subscribe button. If you really want to know when I actually put anything out, the notification button. And watch the best thing you can do for a YouTuber you like, and it's not money wise, is watch the videos in full, and a lot of them. We need the hours. That's where it starts for us. So it's been Pascal. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for your time. I don't take it for granted. And see you in the next video, which is going to be a tutorial. Cheers.